Today we look at an app that looks at the American presidents, and we also talk about the next iPad accessory for the holidays. Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers here. Welcome to iPad 365, the show where we look at apps to keep your iPad aplay. Hey, we've got a great app here from Disney that, well, I'm a history buff, so I love it when I get to learn a little bit more about history, and that's what this app is all about. We'll be talking about it in a second. First of all, I want to let you know the Twitter handle is iPad365. The email is show@ipad-365.com. Feel free to email me there. Suggest any applications or accessories or anything that you want me to talk about on iPad 365. Simple as that. All right, today we're going to be talking about an application. Like I said, I've been really into this one. And it actually features a couple people you might know. Former Comedy Central Daily Show co-host Mo Rocca, along with a lot of other political analysts for this application. It's called Disney American Presidents. And simply, it's a scrapbook of the American presidents. You see this opening happening right now. It's zooming in on the president's desk. As you can see, there's a book. They call it the unofficial Oval Office scrapbook here. And what's really cool, but it's just a big learning app. It's perfect for your kids that are trying to learn about the presidents. It's perfect for you if you remember all the presidents. I don't remember all 42 presidents of the United States. I mean, we can go through here and take a look. I mean, we start with George Washington. Oh, you all know who George Washington is. We have a dollar bill in our back pocket. We know who George Washington is. Do we know who John Adams is? Yeah, we might know a little bit about John Adams. Do we know who Thomas Jefferson is? Yeah, Thomas Jefferson's a pretty big name in our history books. James Madison, well, I'm from Madison, Wisconsin, but I didn't know he was 5 foot tall, and he only weighed 100 pounds. That's kind of crazy. So on and so forth. Do you know who James Monroe was? Do you know the next president was John Quincy Adams, followed by Andrew Jackson, so on and so forth. This is really cool. It's a great scrapbook. It gives you information, like for instance, if you press like Democratic, you find out that Andrew Jackson was the first U.S. president to represent the newly formed Democratic Party. The Democratic Party came from the South, and this is pre-Civil War, which is pretty interesting. And you find out how the different parties come to play, the Democratic, the Republican, and some of the other parties that were part of our American history. If you want to view the video, there's a video right here. You just hit on that button, it brings up a play button, and you can find more about Andrew Jackson. Of course, all the presidents are in this scrapbook. You can find out about our 8th, our 10th, our 15th, our 20th. You can turn the music on, you can turn the music off. There's sound bites, there's pictures of these presidents as photos become part of our culture, as recordings become part of our culture. You can actually hear from some of these presidents. Of course, not George Washington or anything like that. You can hear what he was quoted, but you won't hear his actual voice. And then, of course, Abraham Lincoln and all the other presidents that you might not know. Like, for instance, William Harrison. He served only 1 month as president and died of pneumonia. So if you're into learning a little bit more about our heritage in the United States, a little bit more about the presidents, if you've got kids that are going through history class and not motivated through the books that they're getting, then you might want to check this out, Disney American Presidents. Now, of course, they also have a series of videos which you can buy. I'll put the links on. There are links over to Amazon.com. You can check them out there. But of course, getting this app, it's $3.99 in the App Store, and it has a lot of information in it, and it's probably going to stick on my iPad for a little while, although the size is a little bit larger. It's 1.02 gigabytes, so if you have a 16 gigabyte iPad, you might need to make some room for it. So check it out. It's by Disney. It's called Disney American Presidents, and it's in the App Store now. All right, today's iPad accessory of the holidays is simply the Apple TV. Now, when you first saw iPad 365, I was down. I had a green screen behind me. I moved everything up to my studio once the studio was done. And by the way, we made some small changes here. I hope you like it. Let me know what you think about the color scheme or what you like, what you don't like about this show by twittering me over at iPad 365. But what I did do is I had this and this monitor right here, and I had this nice little converter cord that actually let me hook up the iPad to the monitor. But then I decided, well, that cord kind of gets in the way. So I went out and actually bought myself an Apple TV. And so this is actually being projected using the Apple TV. Now we've got the Apple TV right here. It's always behind the monitor. As you can see, small little box. It's invasive. I'm actually thinking of putting it right behind the monitor on a hook, so you don't see any of the cords. Right now, it's kind of tough to keep these cords from getting in the way, but I try my best. So basically what happens is you go here. We're just going to turn it off here. We'll go here, and of course you'll see the Apple TV interface. But of course you won't see any way to get to the iPad from the Apple TV. That's where the iPad comes in. What you do is you double press the start button, and that brings you a small bottom bar. We'll just hook it back up so you can see what's going on here. You double press on the button, you'll see your icons, you move it over one, and of course you'll see a volume control, you'll see a brightness contrast thing. Of course I'm adjusting it, but you won't see it through here. And then of course play buttons, forward release, and then this little button right here. Whenever it's close to an AirPlay device such as an Apple TV, it will show up. And of course you can choose, I want the iPad to just show the screen from the iPad, or I want it to go to my Apple TV, which I named Prince. Don't ask why. So anyway, and of course, if I want mirroring on, which I normally do, if you got certain applications, and I've shown them in the past, will actually push a device over, and you won't see it on the screen. You'll actually have a set of controls on the screen or something else on the screen, and then of course the video or whatever will play on here. This is a pretty cool device, and the best part is I can hook this up to my TV out in the living room. I can hook this up to my TV in the bedroom, and I can just play things from the iPad and push them through AirPlay over to the big TV. So if I've got a family video that I made, certain things won't let you push it to the TV. Like for instance, I know that Uverse will block that, so I don't play Uverse on my iPad and push it to the TV. But there are certain devices that will let you push it to the TV. So this is a great little addition, a great accessory to have for your iPad. And that's this episode of iPad 365. What'd you think? Do you have kids? Do you want to learn a little bit more about the presidents? Check out the app by Disney. They've got a lot of other great apps too. And then, of course, like I said, I'll have in the show notes the actual links to the DVDs you can get if you want to get more information, because they're chock full of information there. All right, this is Jeffrey Powers. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for listening over on Stitcher or iTunes or wherever you listen to your audio versions. You can feel free to come over to the video version, and we'll welcome you with open arms. Of course, the Twitter handle is iPad365. The email address is show@ipad-365.com. Feel free to email me there with any suggestions that you have. We will be back on Wednesday when we're going to show you a pretty interesting Simon Says type game. We're going to do that when it will be another episode of iPad 365. Jeffrey Powers here. Thanks a lot for watching. And until then, you guys geek out. You should follow Graphite on Twitter @GraphiteINC.